Thank you everyone for joining today. This is the social commerce, a how-to for e-commerce brands on TikTok and beyond. TikTok is growing insanely fast, so we wanted to do a dedicated webinar on TikTok and just social channels, especially with the holidays coming up. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm gonna give everyone another minute or so for attendees to join, let them filter in. But in the meantime, where are you guys logging in from? If you just want to throw it in the chat down there, I'm always curious to see where people are coming from. Toronto, Canada, Vancouver, nice. New Jersey, Houston, nice. It's always so cool to see everyone coming in from all these different places. London, UK, love to see it. Studied there for a little bit. San Diego, Tennessee, wonderful.
Yeah, San Diego, folks. That's where I'm based.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Give another 20 or so seconds. Chicago, getting pretty cold up there, I imagine. Boston, Mexico. Where in Mexico, Esmeralda? Chile, nice. Denver, cool. All right, we're now 2 after, so I'm gonna go ahead and get things started. Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining today. I'm Michael from Justuno. I'll be emceeing this event today. Today we're joined with, we are here with Gatsby, Tenuity, Justuno, of course, and Will from Sophistiplay, a merchant we are really excited to feature as well, who will take a run through of some of his social campaigns and such. So quick logistics. Let's see about that. There it is. There are speakers today, but some quick logistics. A recording of this webinar will be sent out to all registrants tomorrow. So if you can't stay for the whole thing, unfortunately, or something like that, or if you want to send it out to anyone, we'll be sending that out tomorrow in the morning. Additionally, if you have any questions for the panelists as they're speaking, feel free to throw it straight in the chat or use the Q&A. We'll get those questions answered either right after the presentation or at the end. Ideally, we're gonna have a little bit of time for Q&A at the end. Just so you know, they're here. Take advantage of their expertise, what they know. So it's a really exciting topic. So yeah, we're here for you. So with all that being said, I'm gonna do some quick intros. So Riley, if you wanna introduce yourself real quick.
Sure thing. Hey everyone, I'm Riley Spicer. I am a senior manager on the paid social team at Tenuity, which is a digital ad agency performance marketing. And I'm excited to talk to you about TikTok today and just the commerce offerings that that it has to offer.
Awesome. Thanks, Riley. And Brett.
Hi, I'm Brett, founder and CEO of Gatsby. Very excited. We just announced our TikTok insights feature to our platform last week. And then we actually have a very exciting announcement today we're going to unveil on this webinar with our friends at Justuno. So very excited about this this expansion and this platform.
Awesome. Thanks, Brett. And SJ.
Hi, everyone. SJ here. I work at Justuno as a strategist, and I work with brands like Sophistiplay. It's going to be talking later to really map out that journey once visitors arrive on site, whether that's a really sweet deal or just helping them feel a little more guided in how they get to that checkout page. Justuno implements that. So looking forward to reviewing everyone's thoughts today and seeing what questions you have.
Awesome. Thanks, SJ. And Will.
Hi, I'm Will, digital marketing and e-commerce manager over at Sophistiplay. We kind of deal in kind of elegant serveware from disposable looking paper plates and cutting boards. And you'll have to excuse me a little bit because we literally just launched our Black Friday sales. So there's a lot going on right now. And actually, Stephanie and I were on the phone for an hour this morning, sort of dialing in the rest of our Justuno fix. So, but we're here.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you very much, Will. All right, cool. So yeah, without further ado, Riley, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And if you want to take it away.
Sure thing. Let me pull it up here. All righty. I think everyone can see it now, so I'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to go off video just to save my internet bandwidth during this time. So really excited to talk to you all about just TikTok opportunities across the board. We'll touch a little bit on some of their organic commerce offerings along with their paid offerings as well. But to kick things off, I would love to start with a poll. So I think you should see this pop up, but would love to know who's actively running any advertising on TikTok. If you haven't run before, but or maybe you've run in the past, love to kind of get that insight.
Cool. All right, we got those respondents coming in right now, Riley. I'll give them another couple seconds to get in.
Perfect. Always good to get a baseline understanding of who I'm talking to, and I'm excited to see the results.
All right, here we go.
Sweet. Awesome. This is great. I love to see this. Hopefully I can convince some of you to explore TikTok as an advertising opportunity, but at least I'll start with a baseline background on TikTok. So it looks like we have, can everyone see the results? Cool.
Yes.
I see you nodding, Michael. Cool. Awesome. So looks like a majority of those haven't run ads before. That's totally okay. Going to go ahead and kick off with some background on TikTok. So really want to start here with why does Tenuity love TikTok as an advertising platform, and just TikTok in general. So nearly half of TikTok users have said that they've purchased something after seeing it advertised, promoted, or reviewed on the platform. No surprise there. I think those of us who have been on the platform and experienced it before, there's a lot of these product review type videos that pop up. And one of the things that I think we'll continue to notice through this presentation is that TikTok is innovating at a rapid speed, really innovating faster than any of the other social platforms I've seen when it comes to their product offerings, especially around advertising. So their commerce offerings were pretty minimal to start, and in the last year and a half, they've really ramped those up. And user growth on the platform, really even outside of Gen Z, has exploded in the past year. So definitely a prime spot for some being able to drive some good consumer action there. So kind of the top reasons why we love Tenuity, why Tenuity loves TikTok. So next, I want to talk quickly about not only do we know that there's all of this organic content on the platform that's influencing purchasing decisions, there's been some studies that have come out to say this as well. And specifically, TikTok has played a bigger role in impacting those unplanned or impulse purchases than some of the other social platforms. Goes right along with that content on the platform. It's short form, quick videos. People are moving fast, so no surprise to hear that it's really impacting those unplanned and impulse purchases. I'm here to kind of tell you that I think that TikTok fits within the full customer journey. So while we're going to focus pretty exclusively on e-commerce today, there is a lot of opportunity in some of the discovery. So some of those bigger buys that happen on the platform, doing some research, running lift studies, and we're going to hone in a little bit more on conversion and how you get that customer to convert, and how you then nurture them as well on the platform. And that segues nicely into, the traditional marketing funnel, which maybe is a little overused, but still something that I want to reference here, because we certainly see opportunity throughout the full funnel on TikTok, and we don't like to just pigeonhole TikTok into one aspect of our marketing journey than the other. So a lot of opportunity at the top, a lot of larger budgets needed to do something like a branded hashtag challenge or a top view, but I'm going to walk you through some of the commerce offerings that live on the platform, as far as building out some of your TikTok organic profiles from a commerce standpoint, and how you could tap into driving those add to carts on your website or purchases on your website, a little bit more direct response. Sweet. We'll spend a little bit of time on this slide, so bear with me, it'll get a little overwhelming towards the end, but as I've mentioned, there's really the perfect commerce offering depending on your goals on the platform, and you can kind of take your time ramping up onto the platform. On the left here, you'll see a TikTok shop. This is very similar to what you're used to or familiar with on Facebook or Instagram shopping. TikTok has the capability of actually importing a product catalog and showcasing those products on a tab within your profile on TikTok. So this doesn't cost anything. It would be behind, it's temporarily only working with either a Shopify website and or through a TikTok rep, but will soon be available to the general public. I think the latest I've heard is early next year. And you can import your product catalog and someone can browse your products just on the platform directly. So really easy, kind of low barrier to entry to get your products on the platform and within your organic profile. Once you have a catalog on the platform, you can actually go back. You can actually launch something called shoppable in-feed videos. Again, this is somewhat behind a closed door right now, but you'll see a lot more of this coming out this quarter. You'll see a lot more of these types of ads within your feed. So here's an example from Walmart. They've tagged the Fresh Cravings mild salsa in this video. Standard video catches your attention because it's native to the platform. And then when you tap the product link, which has a little shopping icon, it will take you directly to your website and showcase that product. So this is pulling in products from your catalog. So once you have that imported, you're able to use it here. These are organic videos to start, but there will also be the capability of bringing these videos in and running them within your advertising units. So these are two more organic offerings to start, and I would keep an eye on these. I encourage you to go check out the e.l.f. Cosmetics handle if you want to explore a product catalog natively. There's a handful of brands that have those available. Walmart also has some products live. But there's also ways for you to tap into advertising today. If you already have a catalog, you're ready to get going, and you want to put some ad dollars behind it. So one of the first opportunities that TikTok rolled out with product catalog ads was earlier this year. They launched collection ads. So here's an example, also using e.l.f. Cosmetics to kind of bring this home, but they launched a product earlier this year. They had a lot of influencers and creators who posted content about the product. They wanted to showcase that it was available in multiple shades. So we pulled in all of the shades of that product into a collection ad, actually ran this video in the feed, and then appended this collection ad to it. So someone could also browse this collection on site within the app. Once they clicked on the product, it took them out to site and they were able to make the purchase on site. So again, all of these purchases are happening on your website still. We're not talking about on TikTok checkout. That's not, I'm sure that's in the works, but not happening currently. So this is getting that lower funnel engagement, people who have high intent for your products to ultimately come to your website, get them into your funnel, hopefully make a purchase, but also help build your site retargeting audiences across the board. And last paid commerce offering that I would keep my eyes open for, though I would say maybe the least creatively appealing, is the dynamic shopping ads. So you're going to see more and more of these, I think, as we move into holiday as well. They're trying to generate and create a product that's very similar to dynamic product ads on Facebook or Instagram. It hasn't evolved into what a lot of brands think is on trend yet or in alignment with their brand goals, but I think it will continue to evolve over time. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And once you've got your catalog in the platform, you're then going to be able to tap into opportunities like these collection ads or dynamic shopping ads. So you'll be ready to go once your brand is ready to implement these. I wanted to check the chat quickly. I saw a lot of questions come through. Some of these questions, I can answer quickly. Alcohol is not allowed on the platform, no advertising. That's how it currently stands. The shopping feature is available behind a whitelist is my understanding. So you would need to be a business account, and this would all be products that are driving directly to your website, though I think you could build a feed that would drive you out to Amazon and Walmart. The rest, how much lower of a CPA are brands seeing this feature? Our commerce offerings, that actually leads me kind of into the next slide here. So we ran collection ads for another client of mine, Route 21, earlier this year. We did a clean A/B test between our standard in-feed video ads versus our collection ad format. Can't really see it, but it's behind this. And when we appended the collection ads feature, we saw a 4 times higher conversion rate and a 64% drop in our CPA. So keeping in mind, this is not comparing to other platforms. This was comparing to TikTok in-feed video ad versus a TikTok video collection ad. So we definitely are seeing that drop in CPA, especially when we're optimizing towards a conversion objective. So we're excited to see those opportunities. I saw one other person ask about CBD, and unfortunately you cannot advertise CBD on TikTok. Alpha Cosmetics also carries products with CBD, and we are not able to use them. Okay, I'll try and answer some of the other questions.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of questions.
Yeah,
so feel free to keep going, and I can give these to you at the end of yours if you'd like.
Sweet, sounds good. Well, that really wrapped up the TikTok commerce section on my end, so I actually will pass it over to Brett.
Oh, sorry about that, Riley. Then yeah, if you want to answer this one, are large product catalogs an issue on TikTok?
That's a good question. We have clients who have products upwards of 5,000 to 10,000 products. So it depends, I think, on the size of what TikTok allows importing. I don't know the maximum right now, but I would say larger product catalogs are certainly available. If you're in the millions of products, I think you might run into limitations, because I know other platforms have those limitations as well.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Yeah, there are a lot of questions coming in from the chat. So Riley, I tell you what, if you would like to answer some of those directly in the chat, that would be great, because yeah, this is fantastic, everyone. Yeah, keep them coming, please. We're here for you. So yeah, and then yeah, Brett, if you would like to take it away. And thank you very much, Riley, for that presentation.
Yeah, Riley, thank you for that great introduction on TikTok. Like, just a little background here. So I'm the founder of Gatsby. We are a Shopify app, as well as just a marketing software for e-commerce stores in general. And for the past number of years, we've been focused on Instagram as our primary offering to customers, or merchants, I should say. And as of last week, we rolled out TikTok. And so what's cool is that I dove into TikTok in the past year, just like most people have. I wasn't an expert on it for years in the background. I had a younger cousin who was on the Musical.ly version way before it became TikTok that was loving the platform then. And so I've kind of learned about TikTok in the same kind of cadence that a lot of merchants have. And what's really exciting about it, I'm super stoked about this update, is Gatsby's all built around this idea of authentic and organic content. We help merchants identify which of their own consumers have a degree of influence, and then automate influencer marketing campaigns with their customers through tools they're already using, like Justuno, Klaviyo, OmniSend, Sailthrough, et cetera, right? And what I've learned about TikTok, what's really exciting about it, this is a direct quote from one of our blog posts that Katie on my team wrote, is if Instagram is a beauty pageant, TikTok is a talent show. And I love that, because TikTok is built on this idea that the content on the platform should encourage mood boosting, feelings and content, right? And so when we look back at Riley's presentation a few minutes ago, what really stood out to me was that 4 examples, right? And the one on the left-hand side was the organic content. And you had that person shopping in Whole Foods for that salsa, and it just kept replaying and replaying. And it's fun, it makes you smile. It's like a happy person, right? And that's what, as we look at TikTok and approaching it from that left side of her slide on the organic content side, we want to help you do more of that at scale. That's what we do here at Gatsby. So some of the reasons why you want to really jump on board with micro influencers on TikTok is that of all the platforms out there, TikTok boasts the highest engagement rate. So when you look at micro influencers in general, you're going to be it's better to use a micro influencer over a macro influencer at scale, because a macro celebrity influencer might get 1 or 2% engagement rate on their posts for you, whereas a micro or nano influencer might get 5 to 10+% engagement rate. So if you can build a lot more micro influencers in general, that's going to yield a higher ROI and higher engagement. Now you go one step further, and TikTok itself as a platform has the best engagement of all the platforms out there. So really getting into the micro influencer side on TikTok is going to be key for your success on the platform. For some numbers here, you can see that on Instagram, 3.86% engagement rate on average among micro influencers, even less on YouTube, and a whopping 18% engagement rate on TikTok. And then this kind of goes into the mood boosting concept, but 90% of TikTok users visit the app daily, and they spend about an hour or more on it on average. So it's just, there's so much attention on TikTok right now, and it's fun. And the point of all this is to say, when you approach TikTok, as I saw from the poll that we did earlier, most of you are not on there yet or running ads on it yet. So when you do, it's really vital that if you want to be successful on TikTok, like live and breathe this idea of creating fun, lighthearted content. I saw one of the chats, the questions come through saying, can you upload a YouTube video to TikTok? And I'm not sure the answer myself personally, but I'm besting there's probably a way to do it. But the better answer is you should be building content natively for TikTok. I know Riley said that as well, because the TikTok platform is so unique in its ability to try to like be positive. So with all that, I wanted to share a really exciting announcement coming out today. For those of you using Justuno, they've actually released a template this morning that allows, let me go ahead and just present this, that allows, I'll just, you can see here, created Justuno pop-up form that allows you to collect Instagram and TikTok handles from your customers. Because that's the key here. The way to identify micro influencers at scale is to look at your own customer base, who's buying your products, who's on your website shopping for new items, especially during the holidays, and which of them have a degree of influence on TikTok. So if you add this Justuno pop-up to your form or another form to your website, maybe post-purchase, simply ask your customers to give you their TikTok handle. Gatsby is going to go and give you insights on those individuals. It's going to tell you, hey, this customer that gave you their TikTok handle, they have 4,000 followers on TikTok, and they've had 20,000 hearts, and they've done this much content on the platform. And we're going to sync that data into your Klaviyo profile, into your sales through, into your Gorgeous, into your Yotpo loyalty, wherever you want that data. We're going to allow you to automate outreach and collaborations with your influential customers automatically. So this is sort of the low-hanging fruit I can offer to you, as many of you start next year wondering, like, we got to get on TikTok. I'm sure you're having meetings with your team. How do we get on TikTok? What is the easiest way to do it? And ads is one way, and the second is identifying your customers with influence. Reach out to them through Scale using Klaviyo or other tools, and automate some collaborations with them. And what I want to leave you with is actually a TikTok of my own, my first TikTok that I did personally, to announce our TikTok and just see how much fun it is.
Hi everyone, I'm Brett, the founder and CEO of Gatsby, and today I am so excited to film this TikTok announcing our expansion into TikTok Insights. Try it out today.
So it's just
Hi
a
everyone,
fun
I'm
platform.
Brett, the founder and
You have
CEO.
really, engaging animations, and it's important to leverage that in your content. We have 2 new blog posts that went live yesterday and today about this. It's a playbook of how to get started with TikTok, giving you some links and some examples. Elf is also included on ours as well, and also how this whole integration with Justuno and Klaviyo works as well. So with that, I'm going to leave it back to the group, and if you have any questions, please let us know.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Brett. That was great. Yeah, see a lot of, Brett, one quick question from you, from Elena, is how do you differentiate Gatsby from the Caro app?
Yeah, so Caro, they came out with, might have been pre-Cambridge Analytica, I'm not quite sure, But they basically say, hey, we'll look at your Shopify store and we'll tell you which of your customers are influencers based upon our database of influencers. So typically people that Caro identifies have more than 5,000 followers on Instagram at minimum. And it's a really limited data set. They only have access to, a small portion of the universe of Instagram handles. Whereas Gatsby, your customers are going to opt in to give you their handle. And then we're going to provide insights on that handle in real time and sync it with Klaviyo, which is the big key. So you can automate the outreach to them, automate when they mention you, you can go ahead and give them a reward. All that's done through Klaviyo and Gatsby. And again, like we're not looking at a small database. We're able to pull these insights in real time because they're opting in to give you that handle.
Awesome. Thank you, Brett.
Yep.
And yeah, if anyone has any additional questions, throw them in the Q&A. I'm sorry for that miscommunication. That way we can make sure to get them answered. But otherwise, at the end of this, we will make sure to dedicate some time to Q&A. So yeah, moving on. SJ, why don't you take it away?
Thank you. Yes, so let me share my screen. Awesome. So from our perspective here at Justuno, we think about social commerce and CRO just living really closely together. With CRO, we're talking about conversion rate optimization. So the best way to lead someone to convert, and sometimes that means maybe they're engaging with your lead captures or opt-ins. So we'll get into those details too. First, we're going to start with a quick poll, and that's going to be, what social channel do you get the most traffic from? I think that should be coming up for us. Awesome.
There it is.
Nice. Instagram, Facebook.
Might give another couple seconds to come in. All right. And all right.
Cool. So we've got on Instagram, that makes sense. The traffic, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter. I'm not sure. Twitter, I'm glad Twitter's in there. We got one Pinterest. All right. Yeah, with my clients right now, I'm seeing that Pinterest, TikTok, yeah, same categories coming up as top traffic sources. All right, we'll get into that, to Instagram and TikTok here, and more specifically how you can translate those experiences on those special platforms to the on-site experience. So first off, social commerce and Justuno work in such an effective way when it comes to increasing engagement and conversions on site. When it comes to TikTok, we want to think about and view this channel as another route where our visitors can take to get to know and connect with your brand. And ultimately, they would engage on site and another purchase channel. With cross-device tracking that we call out here, this environment really allows us to present or exclude any type of information depending on where the visitor is browsing from. So an Instagram shop click or a TikTok call out, an email campaign, those are things that we can track here. And we should use this with the intent of being more of a shopping buddy rather than a salesman in these different stages. More than 70% of consumers shop using more than one channel. And they're browsing on one channel, maybe getting to know your brand on another, the desktop experience and the mobile experience. They want to make sure as a visitor that feels like it's consistent for them and they can put some trust in that brand. So as you're thinking through this platform initially, just think about the audience in general that lives on the platform and how you're treating them in that top of funnel and bottom of funnel stage, like Riley was mentioning earlier. Awesome. So next up, whenever we're thinking about this traffic that's coming from social channels, we want to think about what that creative looks like within the pop-up and of course on your website. Your website's going to have its own brand touch to it. So with pop-ups, in that messaging, we want to relate that more to, or think of it as a bridge to whenever someone does arrive on site. So that could be a full page takeover and really guiding a visitor with that influencer name or whatever the influencer was promising at that point to get that person to visit the site. So a full page takeover is really unique because it gives that personalized experience that feels like it's your own private shopping experience. And if it's not the right fit, they're able to explore your site moving forward. But with that creative, don't think about it too much. Make sure that it's more relating to that visitor and really what they would want to see next. Cool. So moving on here, we want to get into eventually grow reach and content at scale. So campaign creations in these channels relies heavily on expanding your brand's reach for more awareness at a scale which requires content creation. So that's influencers and user-generated content, reviews, comments, and posts. So you can fire a pop-up, for example, as for an existing customer and ask them for a TikTok or their Instagram handle, like Brett mentioned. And that could come along with a special offer that you have for them, or maybe you have a unique contest that's running on Instagram only and you're wanting to get a hold of them. So this would be the start of a lead collected that would be available for you to review in Gatsby. And this all means that you can turn your best customers into these ambassadors and have more of that one-on-one connection with this type of influencer. So social commerce, in the end, it relies on trust, just like any other sale. And what it allows us to do today is funnel that trust from the influencers to the potential brand. And ideally, the visitors are putting that trust in you and opting into other channels to get to know you. So maybe that's email for you, or maybe you're branching out into SMS now, and you can build out that solid relationship with them. So just remember to keep that messaging consistent whenever you're growing and using these unique ways to reach and get new visitors on site. Analyzing performance. So at some point in the crazy holiday, we do get to look at some numbers. And when you look at these numbers, like here we're calling out ad views, bounce rate, for example, look at them in the context of the platforms and the consumer behavior there. Is your content more informational, educational? Are you driving them to a product page? So use these numbers and these metrics as a general gauge for performance and how you should optimize along the way. Social campaigns should feel really fresh and up to date. And that goes along with keeping up the trends or viral trends that are happening and changes in inventory like we're seeing a lot of right now for the holidays. A really great benefit of working with Justuno is for those that are on Justuno Plus, you can use Audience Sync to send any emails captured on site to Google and Facebook ads to improve that retargeting effort for whether it's the top of funnel, middle of funnel stages. And this is effective to create audiences like original source being social media or from a specific influencer campaign. I've worked on this with few clients when it comes to those influencer campaigns, and just mimicking what that offer is and what that style or vibe that the influencer is putting off has been so effective in getting our engagement up. So here I'll touch on some platform specific strategies related to TikTok. And it's such a great way to, how should I say it? Such a great way to engage organically. I know that sounds like we're just exactly what it is, but it can be such a natural way to engage. And that's the part where it's great that if we're not overthinking it. TikTok has a unique ability to drive users from that awareness to action stage so quickly. And someone doesn't even have to see a post on TikTok. They can see that on Twitter and still be influenced by that organic type of creative. So here we call out using UTMs to mirror the experience and collecting customer data to make sure we're talking to just the right influencer or just the right customer to portray our brand on a different platform. One call out is for those who have a target audience in that Gen Z category. There are a vast majority of TikTok's users with increasing buying power. So it's a great opportunity for brand education. but no need to be so serious. Just showcase your brand, have fun with it. Brett had a great example there, and be creative in your own way. Next up, we've got Instagram. And this is such a great, again, organic kind of engagement that we're looking for, from those in-post engagements to referrals in a way when you're adding your friend in a post to make them aware of something that was funny. This is a great way to get your brand out there and to be a little bit more of what your voice is outside of email or outside of SMS. We can engage with these visitors in a way that makes it really easy to access your site, like a swipe up link in your stories that leads to a specific product page. Or you can greet them again, in this case, with a full page pop-up, and you can introduce a product and a similar product for an upsell or cross-sell, and base that off of that original influencer that brought them to site. With that kind of messaging and with the offer, you can have a specific offer that is maybe just that influencer's offer, and they're giving it to them. So it's almost like the influencer is extending their reach and just handing the coupon right at checkout. We want to think about the other routes that the visitor could be taking that may lead them to want to make a purchase, and build that trust through email content or how we communicate through other channels, through reviews and how visitors are talking about us. So visitors that do click through that shop feature, as well on Instagram, we can track those that abandon their cart with a really sweet discount reveal or a threshold met kind of message. And this high intent traffic is one that we want to rescue by giving them a really good opportunity to redeem an offer that they just can't miss. Thank you so much for your time. There's a lot of platforms. We only covered a few in this webinar. So I would just recommend taking a chance on there, seeing what works for you, and getting a good baseline whenever you're starting out on these platforms.
Awesome. Thank you, SJ. That was fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, got some more questions in the chat.
Okay.
So Will, I think you are up, and if you just would like to share your screen and go through some examples, and then kind of give another run through of Sophistiplate as well. So Will is here to kind of provide direct insight into, how he manages Sophistiplate, his brand, and everything that's going on in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, thanks. Certainly kind of living in the weeds right now for a lot of this stuff. So it's fun to talk and see everything at like a high level, and at least pull myself out of the weeds as I'm in there kind of every day. And I think just going through this webinar and kind of prepping for it and talking with everybody else on this call, like I think a lot of the discussion about TikTok and social selling is really just the overall theme can boil down to like go to where the attention is. And that kind of makes sense, right? Because where there is intention, there is intent. And if you know what your target market is and your target customer, then you can sort of insert yourself to where those potential customers are or existing customers are and kind of drive them into your funnel. And again, that all kind of makes sense. But even as you get there, where the attention is, there's also the data. So you can be agile and react to what your customers are doing. When I think of the three things that I'm trying to accomplish in tasks, they all fall into kind of three buckets. Is this driving more traffic? Is this increasing my conversion rate? Or is this increasing my customer lifetime value? And if it answers any one of those questions, then let's do it. If it doesn't, then it's just, we don't need to do that. So, for us, we've learned that the content that's kind of acquiring the customer at the top of the funnel is what's converting them at the bottom. And again, that may sound obvious to some, but kind of trying to execute that across your entire brand is another thing. So what we're trying to do is always think mobile first, because right now 80% of my traffic is mobile, and also to the point where I'm trying to get the website to kind of look and feel like what drove them to our site. So it's almost seamless from them being in Instagram shopping to checking out our website. Now, obviously, there's a lot of work I have to do to get kind of TikTok to kind of have that same look and feel. But it's still along the lines of, if I know that I got this customer from an influencer post, then I'm going to serve them up user generated content all day, or at least more often, kind of during the lifetime of that customer. If I know I got them through some deal site, then I'm probably going to serve them more deals or coupon codes or referral stuff so that they can get better deals along the way. Our products are real visual, so we tend to let the images do the talking, but throughout that customer's journey, trying to serve them with the content that got them in the first place. And I guess we've done our due diligence or some testing in like trying to force a customer to do something this way, but then you're just kind of swimming upriver, and I don't think we've had that much success. So for us, it's a lot of just getting the right products in front of the right people, like anybody's trying to do, but we do it well with letting our content do the work and then serving the content that we believe the customer wants. Again, all obvious, but kind of super hard to do. One slide presentation. Those are the best. So
no worries. So Will, what is your ideal customer profile look like, and how do you go about targeting those?
Well, certainly we kind of have a large kind of top of funnel in terms of who we're targeting. We seem to see there's a lot of women that are kind of our target customer right now. And then so we're kind of hitting those people in that age range. And so there's a lot of targeted ads that we're doing, as well as kind of working with influencers that are in that space. I think some of the things that we've learned too is we have kind of two different products. We have this kind of paper plate product, and then we have this like cutting board product that are way different price points. And we're learning that those are two different customers. There's some overlap. It's not super together. So we're almost at the point where we're creating kind of different whole website experiences for that type of customer, for the $150 product versus the $12 product. So it's really just trying to drive them in. We've had a lot more success with sort of audience segmentation across all of our channels to make sure that, again, they're getting the right stuff at the right time. It is a lot of work, but that's where we're seeing the most headway.
Cool, thank you very much. And now I have a question for all the panelists, that includes you, Will. What is y'all's recommendation for how often a brand should post content to their page? I feel like I'll hear some cool different answers from everyone. And I guess for this, we can kind of focus on TikTok and Instagram, because I think those are the main ones here. Brett, what do you got?
I'll go first. So as I mentioned in when I started my presentation, I'm still on the newer side to TikTok, but from my experience playing with it and from being engaged with brands and everybody else on it, it's different than Instagram, right? Instagram, like I love our quote, right? It's like Instagram is a beauty pageant, TikTok is a talent show, right? And Instagram, like you're very curated with what you're posting to your feed. It feels different on TikTok. It feels like people are often finding TikToks through the algorithm, right? It's not about having to make sure your feed is like color coordinated and all these things. So I feel like the more the merrier on TikTok, the more chances that the algorithm will strike one of them big. And it just feels like, again, more about fun and showing off your talents and your creativity as much as possible.
Awesome. Riley, what do you think?
Hi, Michael. I've been reading through all of the questions that have been coming in and making sure I've answered them. So I missed your question.
No
when
worries,
you
no
asked.
worries. It's just, how often do you think a brand should post content to their social pages?
Oh yeah, I think it depends on the brand and the content that they create. I think we have a lot of brands that I've worked with that, and Brett sort of alluded to this too, like thought originally they could repurpose their old content and push it out. And both in the advertising world and in the organic space, that doesn't really work. Just because it's the same size as an Instagram stories post doesn't mean that it should be the same content. I don't think there's a good cadence. I think you can do it as frequently as you want, but it's all about what content you curate and what you put out there. So I don't think there's, on Instagram, you're not going to be wanting to post multiple times a day, but you don't have that same issue on TikTok. You can push out multiple videos a day, and one of them might go viral and the other 5 might not, but they'll live on the platform, and maybe you can put some ad dollars behind them to support them.
Thanks, Riley. And Riley, another quick one for you, or I hope it's quick anyway. So with TikTok accounts, when they're advertising, you can usually, it's it says that it's a promotion, right? It's like it's visible. Whenever I use TikTok, sometimes, not every time, but when I see that it's a paid, sponsored post, I'm much more likely to swipe right through it. So what is your, I guess, maybe like one top tip to like, really, I mean, you want attention grabbing, you want it organic, you want it authentic. So I guess, how do you approach that?
Yeah, I think authenticity is key. So it's funny because I think back to when like Instagram stories became an advertising placement on the platform, and people were trying to have really curated content in their Instagram stories feed. And we were like, no, this is a quicker format. I think of TikTok in a very similar way as, you don't want something that's very promotional or that's going to, feel like an ad and someone's going to swipe right through it. You want it to feel organic. So keeping in mind not using trending sounds in advertising because there are legal repercussions there, but pulling in organic content or content from a creator who's talking about your brand or your product helps kind of pull in that authenticity and make sure that it's not the first thing someone notices when they're scrolling through their feed, because it says sponsored, but it's closer to the bottom, closer to the handle. So the video catches their attention, and then maybe I feel like there's been several videos where I'm watching and I'm like, oh yeah, actually this is an ad. Wait, I didn't realize it was an ad at first. So it caught my attention. It was I was interested in it, and then I realized it was for an ad, and I was able to click out. But I think that's key.
Cool. Thanks, Riley. I know it's a tough question, but so thank you very much. And cool. And one quick thing, I'm going to launch a poll here. I forgot to launch for Brett in regard if you have an influencer plan going. And on that note, we have a question coming from Jenna, and she wants to know our thoughts on the word influencer versus creator. She's been reading that people are more interested in co-creating versus being a direct, say, influencer. And are there any insight or tips for merchants around that nuanced language here?
I could use some co-creators out there. I mean, for me, I don't think it matters to our customers. I think if it's authentic, as kind of Riley was saying, I don't think you're really gonna have a problem in whichever term you're using. But maybe those three terms fall into different buckets, and an influencer is more of like a pure trade for profit, and a creator is something where they're actually creating something for you that you can use outside of that one-time post. But
I agree with Will here as well. And from our vantage point, working with, again, our platform is focused on micro and nano people that often hear the word, apply to our influencer program and think that can't apply to them because they don't have 100,000 followers. So we do see a lot of our customers use other language beside influencer. One of the big ones also coming up right now is community, right? Building that community is also really key. And all these words, like, again, at the end of the day, the strategy is really similar, especially when it comes to the micros, but making sure you don't scare off your customers because they think they can't qualify.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, Brett. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like some people might have like the word influencer has a certain connotation to it now, and so how you differentiate, and then like Will said, the different buckets and how because it's a growing field and it's expanded so quickly, having more specific sort of definition for it and how to use them is pretty important. I'm going to share the results of this poll right here. And yeah, keep these questions coming. So Riley, I think this might be more for you, but it doesn't say who asked this, but they wanted to know, why would a brand choose not to use Instagram shopping, if I'm reading this correctly, and only drive visitors back to their site? In which case, would this be the case? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if this person wants to clarify. I don't, it may be that they're asking about Instagram checkout versus driving back to their site. I think that ultimately is a preference. So, why would a brand choose not to use Instagram checkout? Maybe they don't have the tech capability of setting that up and allowing for purchases to come through on site, or maybe their shipping minimums don't meet Facebook and Instagram requirements. So you have to have things shipped out pretty quickly, actually. And we have to maintain a good level of customer service on the platform. If I didn't answer that properly, definitely
No.
throw
Make
another
sure.
question in.
Yeah, it's a little oddly phrased, so I just want to make sure that's right. But thank you. That's a good one. Brielle from the audience said, when Instagram has restrictions around the product. That makes sense. And actually I think there was another question earlier. Let me pull this up here. And it was, I'm not sure who said this or asked this, but they make and sell non-alcoholic cocktail syrups, and they're constantly dealing with Instagram because the platform identifies it as alcohol. So they wanted to know how they can maybe avoid that with TikTok, whether it's verbiage or creative or otherwise.
I don't know if anyone else has good insight here. Unfortunately, like TikTok's pretty locked down in the types of products that they advertise. We've worked with a brand who got mislabeled, and we were able to kind of work around that. But if you're being labeled properly, then there's not a lot of work around there. If you're being labeled incorrectly, you should be able to reach out to TikTok and work with that team to make sure that the content that you're talking about, because maybe your product is not alcohol, but you're then using it in conjunction with a lot of alcohol, you have to be mindful of that. Brett, I saw you come off mute too.
Yeah, I came off mute too, just because if it's the same as Instagram, that is a big opportunity for micro influencers as well, because the creators themselves can talk about what they like to buy and purchase. It's just an ad restriction, right? So getting your customers to talk about their non-alcoholic drinks is, again, just a very organic way to get the word out and reach that audience.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. All right, these are good questions. Sorry, Riley.
There were a few questions and someone asked this again, so I'd love to address it as far as using trending audio on TikTok in ads. And just want to kind of give advice from what the Tenuity side recommends to brands. Though I will say I see tons of ads in my feed that use trending audio. We tend to caution against our brands using trending audio, especially like licensed music that you don't actually have permission to use, or maybe it's an audio clip from like a Bravo TV show, something like that. If your brand doesn't have permission to use those things and isn't paying for the rights and the access, there's the possibility that you're held liable for any legal repercussions that come down. TikTok doesn't monitor this, so other platforms like YouTube both prevent you from doing this. Facebook typically prevents you from using audio unless you have a license, or like using audio that would need to be licensed and providing that. TikTok hasn't locked down on that yet. I suspect they will eventually, but it's technically illegal. So that's why we tend to caution against it. I think there's some gray area in the organic like posting side of things, so brands can hop on trends, but depending on your brand, you definitely want to be mindful of what is technically allowed in an advertising space.
Thanks for clarifying that, Riley. I saw that pop up a few times too. And I bet that's a pretty tricky thing to handle. And then we had another one come in. This is for you, SJ. So they want to know, is it possible to create product recommendations based on which influencer campaign a visitor came through? They want to suggest a different product based on what the influencer is mentioning in their stories.
Ooh, great question. I feel like it's a trick question. But yeah, totally possible with Justuno. You can use our Commerce AI feature, and that allows you to have those unique product recommendations, or you can call out exactly what product you're wanting to recommend at that point. And whenever they arrive on site, we really just need to know what product it is that's driving them there. And then just with some strategy talk behind that, you can set it up so it fires for those exact visitors.
Thanks, SJ.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we have one more coming here. All right, so we are trying to build a presence on TikTok organically and without developing ads or putting too much money behind ads. Since a lot of users will quickly swipe past the video once they realize it's an ad, what are the benefits of putting together an ad budget versus posting on TikTok organically? Who wants to take it?
I can take if anyone else wants to add to it. I think putting advertising dollars behind something gives you scale. So what you can't scale organically, you can attempt to scale through paid, and that's why people tend to go that route. I think the approach of making sure your organic TikTok presence is developed and that you're actively monitoring the platform, it is a good first step in starting on the platform. But once not everyone's going to go viral on TikTok, but you might have good content that would work well in driving an end conversion. So I think it's worth exploring and testing into the platform. I think Q4 will be a really competitive time from a CPM standpoint on the platform, though we do see lower CPMs on TikTok than compared to Facebook. But it's certainly something you're going to want to expand into, if not this year, definitely in 2022, just to see if you can get the performance that you want out of it, especially if you're active on other paid social platforms and running media elsewhere. There's definitely opportunity to expand your paid social presence to TikTok.
I just want to add on that too, like ads themselves aren't, like, as a consumer, I bought a toy for my dog last week from an ad. My girlfriend thought it was a native content. She sent me a DM on Instagram. I watched it. I knew it was an ad. I was like, I love this ad. I love this toy. It's a flopping fish that my dog loves. And I don't think ads necessarily are you don't skip over them if they're good. And that goes back to the TikTok thesis that we focused on, is just have fun with it, create organic feeling, like authentic content, and then putting money behind it to get more visibility on it is, I think, the way to go. But focus on the content, and then you can promote it and boost it, and people recognize it's an ad, but it doesn't mean that it's less effective.
Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Riley. All right. We have about 3 minutes left, so hopefully time for a little more questions. I'm going to launch one last poll just to see who you'd like to hear from the most. But here's a question. What's the ideal size of an influencer's audience to look for when building an influencer program? And what constitutes a micro-influencer versus just an influencer?
I'll take the first one on this one. So at least when it comes to Instagram, we see customers and clients starting off at between 500 and 1,000 followers is the starting point to do a influencer campaign with them, because they can do it through scale, through like their Klaviyo or other ESP fighters, because you really can't manage influencers with 500 followers or 1,000 followers without automation. But because you can do that with automation, about 1,000 followers minimum will get you sort of enough to give them a high promotion code or a free gift to warrant the ROI on that. And then as far as what transitions from micro to a macro influencer, that varies. There's no industry standard. We like to say 100,000 followers really is for sure going to be an influencer and beyond. Some brands think it's higher, some brands think it's lower. And with TikTok, we just launched TikTok last week, like I mentioned, so we're still learning that data from our customers. But I imagine it will hopefully be within a similar stratosphere as Instagram.
Thanks, Brett. Cool.
Yep.
All right, we're about 2 minutes out. So Will, I think I want to save the last question for you. If you had one top tip for brands, what would it be for their social influencers or otherwise? Or maybe what's one thing you've, I guess, maybe struggled with this year, something like that.
Top tip. Yeah, I mean, the most success we've had is to, I guess, 100% buy in to the brand voice that we have, and don't deviate from that. There's always opportunities to do this because it looks cool, it looks shiny, but like the customer base we have really resonates from that. And if you're gonna kind of go off the beaten track, just understand that, you know, maybe your returning rate doesn't do as well with all these iOS updates and attribution loss. Like, it's pretty key to maintain your current customer base. So you know, live, breathe, and eat your brand voice and identity. And you know, if you build it, they will come. I guess that's, you know, that's worked best for us this year as we've sort of scaled the D2C side of the business.
Awesome. That's a great tip. All about that organicness, the authenticity of it all, because that's what really works on for social. So With that being said, we are at the hour. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope you learned a lot. I did. It was great having you all. Great questions throughout. If you have any questions, please use the links. I'm going to include the offers that Gatsby, Justuno, and Tenuity provided. So if you want to learn more, just reach out to them. You can find them on LinkedIn, and they're happy to help, as am I. So thank you so much, everyone. If the panelists want to say bye real quick.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks everybody for coming in, and it was a great time.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.
Black Friday deals are live.
There you go.
All right. See you, everyone. Have a good day.